And I'm back to the Data Dev Quest Challenge. This time is Data Dev Quest Challenge 2026 in the new year. Um, so we got a new challenge. Okay, let's get started. Before talking about the challenge and the solution, I would like to say thank you to Jordan. He's a Tableau Data Dev ambassador and also co-founder of Data Dev Quest. Thank you for creating this challenge, Jordan. And then also helped me a lot in answering the question that I have during working on this challenge. Yeah, thank you very much. And I will going to share with you all about the Data Dev Quest challenge at this time. So I'm on the beginner challenge. That's about look at users. So you see in Tableau Cloud or Tableau Server, we have, if you click on the users tab, for example, right here I have on my site, and then if you click on users, you will see the list of all users on this site. Um, so currently only me on this side, so you see my name in here. And then you see the username, which is also my email, site role, authentication, and the timestamp last sign in. And in this beginner challenge, um, it help you to practice like how to add more users by using TSC, Tableau Server Client, work with action jobs, and explore different IO for getting user details. Um, for example, you see here we have the display name, username, and we also have the user ID, but it didn't show here, and with the site role. Uh, these are the instruction how you can walk through, and then you need to install Python for Python 3.13 or newer. And also need to install the Tableau Server client package. Balance here, um, we need to read the file. So for example, we have a CSV file, and we need to create user items and add them to the site and track the background jobs. Um, then can retrieve the ID for the newly created users. So in the zone window, we need to show the user ID with the user and all the information that you see in here. Okay, and I already did that, but before going to the Python script, I draw a diagram to create some credential information. So for example, you see here, that's a personal access token. So I have personal access token name and the secret server address that I use. For example, here, that's it 10AX online tableau.com. The site ID CSV5, CSV path. That is the directory of the CSV5. And I already prepare a CSV5 with the username, password, display name, license level, creator, and other information. So I was already prepare all of this. Next, I will list on the current users on the Tableau Cloud side. For example, I will list the current users in this side. So it should return only one row for my name here with this username. Next, I will split it into two cases. One case is that's a user existing DF. So for example, here I only have for example, I have multiple users here, and then it will check if this username is already exists in this site. I will separate in another group. And if those users in the CSV file are new, it will call the add function to add users there. And then it will list on the user from the site again. and also show on the information. In another case, if some users in here already exist on the site, I will also show the list of the existing users. And then we have two options to choose. Can update those users' information, or we can remove those users on the site. So I add this just to practice how to use with update and remove users. Um, and if you update the user info, it will call the user update function. Um, the user update function is this one. So you can update the site role or add user to a group, or you can also remove a user from a group. Continue with this. After we update the information of the users, it will list on the user from the site again after updating data. Another option that's remove the user from the site. So you can also choose the user that you would like to remove from the site on Tableau Cloud. And then it will have an interface, user interface on the screen to let the user to select the index to remove on the side. And then I have another function. It's called user remove function to remove those users. And then again, it will list all the users from the side after it removed. So here's is my script for the beginner challenge. So here I have the list on users, same as other TSC challenges before. I will authorize the data by passing the personal access token, personal access token secret, site ID, the server address, um, and then sign in with this authorization info. And then I use the function server.user.get. So from here, I can get all the user from the site. And then it will show how many total users on the site by getting pagination item, that total available. And then from here, I will create an empty list to iterate to store on the user later, and then iterate into each users in all users here. Um, and then I also check the root of this user so I can get the root of that user later. If you are on the Tableau Cloud and then you click on three dots here and then choose group membership. So you see here I have, so this person is in on user group and I have another group is called DDQ test, and there's no member over there, but we will add that later. Okay, go back to here. So this function, it will return the data with on user, include the ID, full name, username, site role, the domain, and the group of that user on the site. For user add function, the same thing. I'll authorize the data, but here I iterate into the list of the users that I pass in here. So this is from the CSV file, and then I transform it into uh, data frame, and then it will iterate into this file, and then it will add the user by using the user item from TSC, and then I will assign with the username and also the license level. After that, I use the function use server.users.add this user item. For the user remove, very much it's the same thing like user add function. It will authorize the info to sign in, and then It will also check this data frame to check each row, and then we will remove uh, the users with the user ID here. For user update, so I have a list of users to add, and then I have a data frame for user update function. So it will help to update the side row, add or remove the user from a group. Um, so the same thing like this with the order function, authorize the info to sign into Tableau Cloud, and then uh, it will show a list of the user first, and then this one it will ask on the user interface that enter the users of the username of the user you want to update, just to make sure that the admin want to remove that user from the cloud, um, from the Tableau Cloud on the site. And then this one, it will get on the user from the site and then check if the users that the user input has already is also exists in on the site. And if the users to update is none, it means like you cannot find that users on the site. And then it continue with the program. And here you can select many options for you to select. So you can update the side row if you select one, put two if you want to add the user to a group, or three you want to remove a user from a group, and four is to exit. And then here's is just the input. And if the user choose one, it means the user want to update the side row for that user. They can update to viewer, creator, explore, can publish, unlicensed or read only. I know there's more side row. So here's if you check the documentation page, you will see there's a list of the side row here: creator, explorer, a license, read only, or viewer. And it will ask the users to enter the side row that they want to assign for that users by choosing the index 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. And then in here, I use the function servers dot users dot update to update the users. Um, that user update is from here, and then bring out the screen after update the information. If the user select two, mean we will assign a group for that user. On Tableau Cloud, we can assign many groups to a user, so user can have many groups. Um, First, we use the function server.users.populate groups, and then we will check the user to update that the user input at the beginning. Um, if it's not found, has it's mean has not been that user has not been added to any groups. So we can list on the groups by get using the get function. Then list on the group with the group name and the ID. Bring out on the groups, and then from here we can enter the name of the group to add for to the user, and we will check if that group exists on our site. If it exists, we will add that user to this group, um, and also passing the user ID. This case, so the users is it will show that the users is currently in the list of the group, and then it will ask if this user, if we want to add this user to another group. If we want just to yes or no, if choose yes, we will add that users into the group. Um, and the same thing, enter the name of the group that we want to add the user. check if that group exists on the site, and then add the user on the group with this um, function. And if we want to remove the user from group, this means option 3. So we can do the same thing. Just check if this users is in any groups that we want to remove. Um, and then we enter the name of the group that we want to remove the users. Again, it will check if that group name exists on the site. And if that group name that the user enter exists on the site, we continue to remove the user from the group by passing the group that we enter and also passing the user ID into the remove user function. That is for the update user update function. And then I can run the program to demo what we have. So currently on our site, you see that we have currently on our site on Tableau Cloud, we only have one users here. Okay, only one user on this side on Tableau Cloud. And now we will add this user from the CSV5 into uh, this site. Okay, I'll run this program. So you see here, it's found only one user on this site, and it also show the ID, the full name, the username, and then it will check on the user from the CSV5, and there's only one user with all the information, and it also check all these users with this zero has not been in the site before, so it automatically added this user into the site on Tableau Cloud. So you see here, after it add this user, now we have two users on Tableau Cloud with the ID, full name, username, the Cyril. This one is for unlicensed because I think I don't have the license to assign the Cyril to these users, but we can update later. And these are on the groups. Now, if we go back and then check the Tableau Cloud, refresh the page. Now you see there are two users in here, and check this group. Okay, so in all user group, we have two members. Okay, what if I run this program again? And now it see that it found there are two users, and then because I passed the same CSV5, so it will check, oh, these users already exist on the site. And now it will ask, would you like to update the info or remove them from the site? So for example, I would like to update the user, I choose one. And the username that I want to update, that is on here. Okay, so I will paste this username. So it found that username, and then it will go to the next step, which option that we would like to choose to update. For example, we would like to choose Styro, and then I want that user to be a viewer, so I select one. And now this user's the Styro for this user has been updated to viewer. We can check that by refresh if it works. Okay, you see here the side role had been changed to viewer. It's not a license anymore. Now go back. Now I would like to add that user to a group. So we to two, and then it say, oh, this user is currently in this group. And then it will ask if you would like to add this user to another group. If you want, just type Y, and then it will show the available groups for you to choose. One is on users that this user currently in, and another group that's EDDQ test with this group ID. And now I would like to add to DDQ test, so I will enter DDQ test group, and then it say this user was added to group DDQ test. You can also check um, on Tableau Cloud. Let's go back, refresh the page. Now, if I click in here, group membership, you see there are two check for this user. Okay, and now I don't want to remove yet. I would like to exit to see the list of the users. So you see here we have two users on the site with the ID, full name, username, side role, and the group. And then you see these users were assigned to two groups on users and DDQ tests. Let's run the program again. And now I would like to remove this user from this group. Okay, I will choose two. Uh, I want to choose one to update. Uh, want to update this person. Okay, now I would like to remove a user from group. I choose three. And the group I want to remove for that user DDQ test. Okay, so that this user already was removed from this group. Exit. And now you see these users only show one group. And now I want to remove this users. Run the program again. Remove the user from the site to two. And then now put the index of the user I want. So put one to remove this user. Okay, that user has been removed from the site. And then now it's only show that only one user from this site. I can also check on Tableau Cloud, refresh the page. Now you see there's only one user on this site. Okay, yeah, that is the beginner challenge for data dev question. Moving to the next challenge, that intermediate. In this challenge, we will explore the extract refresh on Tableau Cloud side. So if you click on, so I'm still on Tableau Cloud, and then if you click on site status, and then click on background task for extract. So I already published some uh, workflow from Tableau Prep Builder and also the Tableau workbook with the published data source, and then I use Tableau Bridge. Let me check all. So we check the run flow and order refresh like here, but I only have the run flow and refresh extract via Bridge. So you see here, uh, so I have the workflow here. It success. So you can see the status is success. before there's fail for the historic data. This is a published data source that I refresh via bridge, um, and it is failed, but it also success. And we extract all the data, like get all the tasks, and get when the task was scheduled, when it's run, and when how long it's in running. Um, so we can use REST API or Tableau Server Client TSC in Python to extract these data. Um, and in this challenge, we can practice how to filter the data because we want to retrieve only the last 10 successful extract refresh. Um, we also need to identify the objects that is on the task here. Um, then we also need to calculate the average, the standard deviation, and check if there's a lot of variety. I'm not good at statistic, but I found on Google that you can calculate with the CV by taking standard deviation divided by the average number to get the CV. And from there, we can decide how long to wait to pawn the server from the job status. Uh, yeah, how long to wait. My solution, I use the filter to extract the refresh. So it will help to filter the data, so it will return um, the data quickly. Let's go to the script. So in intermediate, I have three solutions to do. Thanks to Jordan. Um, I also learn from Jordan with a new technique to extract the data. Let's go to first the first function. So in the first function, I need a get token because I mostly use the REST API, so I need the token access and also the site ID to put into the endpoint URL when I send a GET request. So I send a POST request in this case to get the token and site ID. After that, I use REST API. So I define a function called query jobs. And then it will authorize the data with the token from the reverse function. I will set the endpoint, say the URL with the jobs URL. You can see it in the documentation. To query a jobs, there are many URL here. So currently I'm using this URL. And then for filter, you can put a question mark with the filter here. For example, with job type, you only want refresh extract, you put equal, EQ, the same syntax like this. Or you can put the filter for related at that greater than this timestamp, or with the title like this. So in the URL endpoint, I put the page number so I can dynamically choose the page number. Um, so here I will scan into each page number, and then you can also set the record limit for each page. And then for filter, because I would like to extract dynamically data from the refresh extracts. So I use job type that's passing from the function here. So job type it could be run flow or um, the extract refresh via bridge. And status, it could be success or fail. And then to sort the data, I use the sort parameter in the column created at by descending. Then I send a GET request to get the response. From the response, I get all the jobs, and then I store on the jobs in on jobs. It will also cache the value total available from pagination, and then it will check if the number of jobs is greater than the total available items. It will break the loop. If not, it will continue to scan the next page. So it will put page 2 in here and do the same thing again until met this condition. And then finally, I will return a data frame. Uh, but for that case, it didn't return on the info I want because I want to show the task name. For example, on the cloud side here, you see uh, well, history data or the store workflow. I want to show this task. Um, and and this query job function could not return those info for me, so I need another function uh, to get on the job info by passing more the job ID. So after I got the data frame from query job, it will return a list of job ID, and then I pass the job ID list into this function to get more detail. You can also check um, that info on the documentation page with this endpoint by passing job ID. We can get the response like this. This is in XML, but I use JSON. So it will get the fresh created, updated at finished code. Uh, Challenge in this case because it can return the run flow and also the refresh extract for the job type. And for each job type, there are more column. For example, the run flow only show this column but didn't show this column. So I need to handle this case by check if the jobs type is run flow. It will also show three of these columns. If that is refresh extract, it will show these three columns and get the ID and the name of that row or the data source. So for example, the refresh extracts ID and the name of the data source. For example, run flow doesn't show these three columns, so I need to remove this. Same as for refresh extract. And finally, I will return data frame DF. Uh, for the using TSC, Tableau Server Client, you can also use Tableau Server Client um, by checking all the authorization info. And here I use function just server jobs dot filter, and the same as REST API. I can also filter here by using page size, for example, 100. Status, that's the parameter that I pass into this function. Job style the same, the parameter that I pass to this function, and I order by the created column. I will also show 10 rows in the result. So I set this slide to 10, for example. And in the job, it will show all these fields: ID, type, status, created, started at, ended at, the title, and the note. But the problem is when I try with TSC, it show null for the title, subtitle, and the notes. Um, so it didn't return what I want. Um, and so I try. So I would like to compare on the option that I can use. And then finally, in this function, I return a data frame. This is the new one that I haven't learned before, and thanks to Jordan, I asked Jordan, and he shared a documentation to me by applying a new parameters. It's called um, fields. So you can check that in the documentation page, fields in the REST API, and then click on query jobs, field list. So you can apply the fields equal those fields like ID, status, related at, and with the title and subtitle that I want. So that's why I add all these fields here, the list of the fields. And for the filter, I also use job type and the status here. For sorting, I use the source parameter on the related column in descending. And finally, I send a get request, get the response, um, and store on the job in this list, and finally return the data frame. So you see, in the first option, I need two functions, one for query jobs and one for get job info, and then merge those two data frame together to get the full data set I want. But for testing with the new field function, just one function like this to send the get request, and then I can get on the data I want. Here I have another function to get the user input. So it will dynamically choose the job type, um, and also it will check on the status, so success or fail, to filter the data. And also we can also enter the number of records to display on the page. So this is option one, using REST API, I call the query jobs, and then check uh, the status, because after I call this job, if that job doesn't have fail status or doesn't have the success, and the user choose the either one, and then it cannot show any rows in the data frame to show on the Windows. So I handle this case by checking um, if the status of that job with that job exists on the cloud, and then I check on the ID. Finally, I will merge those two functions together. Finally, I will merge. It means join two data frame together. One is for on jobs, and another job info data frame. That is the info data frame. Drop some column and then bring out to the screen. The second option that I use with the field, the one that I just showed, by using field equal something. Here you see I only need to call this function and that's it. For TSC, I call the TSC function and then bring out the data frame to the screen. And finally, I calculate the average wait time and standard deviation. That's it from the challenge. So I calculate the running time in second by taking ending at minus started at in seconds, and calculate the average and the standard deviation of that column. And then check with the CV equal the standard deviation divided by the average time. And if it's less than 0.5, that's low variety. And in the range between 0.5 to 1, that's moderate. And if it's higher than 1, that is high variability. Um, the waiting time, so I put that in the quantile of 0.9. It means waiting time for 90% of jobs that finish in second. Okay, let's run this. program. Yeah, I want to extract the run flow only. Success. I want 10 because it doesn't have much rows in the Tableau Cloud. So it only return 4. That's success with this ID. So you see here with using REST API that I use with query job and get the info function, it get mostly full of the data I want. Flow name, flow run ID on the job type. By using the REST API with the fields parameter, it can also return the same thing. See here with the title and the subtitle. And it's more simple than the first option. But for option 3, by using Tableau Server Client for the title and notes, it return none. I don't know why, but for the order columns, it returned the same as other option, except the title and the note. For analyzing time, it would calculate average time is 16 seconds. Standard deviation is here, or 55 seconds. That's so that's a low one. And waiting time for 90% of about job finish is 17 seconds. Okay, if I try running again, at this time I choose refresh extract to fail. So 10. So there are also 5 rows that have been failed for extract refresh. Then the same thing is show the title, subtitle, that is data source. And that's high variability. So need to wait 26 seconds. And that is all the solution for the intermediate challenge. And thank you for watching the video that I share the solution in the beginner challenge and also intermediate for the data dev quest 2026-02. And hope to see you soon in the next challenge.